Okay. Excuse me. What we have for this lab is we have to do reaction time data. What I'm going to do is we went through how to import the reaction time data from class. So I'm just going to go through how to manipulate the data files. First thing, there's two files. There's the within subjects design and the between subjects design. The within subjects design you open first, and it is the one that is the way the data should be. Excuse my computer. And the way the data should be arranged is based on the kind of data we have. We have within subjects data. Each subject takes multiple tasks. So first thing you want to do is delete the variables that we're not going to use. And then delete that. You can always get the data back if you screw up because it's on the web. And then you go to File, Save As, and you're going to save it in where you save your files, and as your name, first and last name. We'll save it as Steve Weinert. Oh. And we're going to save it as Lab 7, because that's technically what lab we're on right now. Save. So now, if you want to import the data from the web, from our class, then just go down the bottom and add it right to the bottom. Just copy and paste it right there. Make sure that the columns line up and you're set. It's easy. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to measure thinking and those times. So what you have to do is you have to do compute statements. What the compute statements are very simply, you go to transform compute, and we want to measure how long it takes you to think. So thinking is your complicated reaction time, choice, minus the average reaction time. So think and act minus act gives you your time to think. And there's the time to think. And then transform compute variable, and this is the time to read. So in order to read, you need to the reading reaction time minus the thinking reaction time, because this should require thinking and action. This is reading, thinking, and action. So the only thing that's left is how long it takes you to read. And the last one, transform compute, would be your negate variable. Your negate variable is going to be your read, negate, think, act, followed by minus read, think, act. And hit OK. There you go. So that's step 1. Step 2, make a graph. Graph, error bar, and we have to do a simple graph because we're going to compare variables, but we're not summaries of groups of cases, but we're separate variables because it's within subjects. Each subject is going to do each of these 3 things. Put them in here, hit go. There we go. Of course you can't see it, so you can. Wink. There it is. There's a nice graph. Think, read, negate. Now, is reading and negating the same? Well, in order to do that, you need to do a t-test. You need to do this versus that. With the within subject design, you have to do a different type of t-test. You go to compare means. So let me move that down so you can see what I just did. Analyze, compare means, and then a paired sample t-test. Okay, so the paired variables are very simple. You want read and think and read, think and negate, and read and negate. And do I need to do any other pairs? Nope, because that's all the different possible combinations between those 3. 1, 2, 3. Read and negate, think and negate, think and read. Perfect. Okay, so we hit OK, and you'll get the output that looks like this. Let me scroll down. What this output is this tells you, first of all, the pairs, read and think, the means, standard deviations and standard error, the means. And then it tells you the relationship between the samples. The higher the relationship between the samples, which means that the 2 variables are, well, related to each other. We'll talk about that. What that can cause significant effects if we're looking at something different. But again, we'll do that a little bit later in class. So now here's the t-tests. Down at the bottom here it says pair 1. Pair 1 says think, read. The difference between the groups is a t-test of minus 20 with, that's a big T. probability is significant. The difference between think and negate is 3. Now again, this is without adding our classes data on it. When you add our classes data on it, it gets the t-test become even larger because we're actually really measuring populations. So the more subjects we add, the greater the differences between the means. Cool. Anyway, and that's about it. That's all you have to do for the within subjects exam. And then we'll stop this and record what to do with the between subjects.